Yeah. So the wise man said, if you can't do it on Tuesday, do it
You
on.
must do it on Wednesday.
Hey, Happy New
Hey,
Year! We're
Happy
back
New
in the
Year.
building. You already know what it is. Down in Sports Talk, we in the building. This is left-handed at RM Deso on Twitter, which is this right now. And over there, Yada Bear, aka, let me see if I can run down the resume real quick. Super Bowl champion,
Mm.
two-time NFC East champion, 2025 Down in Sports NFL Picks champion. Did I leave anything out? Did I leave anything out, Bosky?
No, no. You know what? That's
You
fine.
still working on the resume, right? Still
Yeah, I'm
resume
still
still being
working. You
worked
know,
on as we
the year,
speak.
the year just
Um,
started.
the champion is in the building, y'all. By one game. This is why I think I'm not really big on the social media thing. But what I do is what we do. We've been doing this for
Hmm.
over 10 years now, right? And I think that we add a little spice to it with the pick your lock and things of that nature, and it
Hmm.
works.
Yeah.
Um, if you might be behind in week 14, get the pick your lock, get a 10 extra points, or you could pick as many picks your locks as you want. That's the drama in it. All of them got to win.
Yes. Yep.
You know what I mean? So again, salute Dabrowski. Is well earned. The check should be in the mail by the end of the show. Word up. Salute Dabrowski, man. And we
Thank you.
are in the
Thank you.
building. Once again, it's on. We back here. 2026, yo. Woo!
Yeah.
2026 is like for me and Browski, I want to get Browski's opinion and Browski's thought on it. For me, 2026 is going to be a milestone year. It's going to mean 50 years that I've been a Yankee fan.
Mm,
50 years I've been a Buccaneers fan,
mm.
right? And just kind of like into the game and watching. So the plan this year is to go to a Bucks game. The plan this year is to go
Nice.
to a few Yankees games. You know what I mean? Try to make some Knicks games. Them tickets is bananas. But just be in the moment, man, because it's been a lot of ups and downs, but we're still here. You know what I mean? And enjoy it while you can, because a lot of cats is not being able to do that. So yeah, man. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what 2026 is going to encompass for myself. What about you, Browski? What you looking forward to in 2026, and how you feeling about the new year?
No, so far so good. 2026 looks to be a kind of a monumental year also for me. I'll be turning 45
Uh
this
oh.
year. You know, um, yeah, it's crazy when you
Uh
say it out loud. Um,
oh. You
that
say it out
that
loud.
that's happening. I'm looking forward to really enjoying sports this year. It's been a
Mm,
lot of controversy throughout all the leagues with cheating and sports betting and making you now question the authenticity of the game and the authenticity of the players who's playing the games. I just want to try to take those thoughts out of my head while I'm watching sports and just try to love it again.
mm,
Relearn to love sports. So right now I'm trying it out with basketball, um, also more with baseball, especially in the off season, just being more active, seeing what's going on around the league, seeing the moves, and just trying to be more informed.
mm,
Just
mm.
not looking at it with like a side eye, just trying to look at it with child eyes again. When we was a
Mm.
kid, how we used to feel about watching the games, watching basketball, watching baseball, watching football. Just trying to fall back in love with sports. You know, That's how I look. And giving you guys, fire content. A lot of fire discussions this year.
Absolutely. And where are we going to begin? You know, where we're going to begin. We're going to begin with the NFL playoffs.
Yeah,
Um,
why not?
I think this season, a lot of teams. Let's begin with the teams that are not in the playoffs, like that were predicted back in September or late August to really have a say in who goes to San Francisco for Super Bowl 60. Right.
Yeah,
I'm going to start with my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right. The Detroit Lions. Who else can we think of here? Um,
Baltimore Ravens,
Baltimore Ravens. Dare we say,
Cincinnati Bengals,
Cincinnati Bengals. Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs, the
You know,
Colts.
a lot of those, yeah, absolutely. A lot of those teams that were expected to, make strong runs, didn't make any run at all. You got a team like the Carolina Panthers, who are division champion, will be hosting the first playoff game on Saturday against the Los Angeles Rams, who had a way better record. You look at the Rams and you look at the Panthers.
Hmm.
The Rams are a 10.5 point favorite, and like
Which
that
is
tells you all
sweet.
you need to know. But for me, it's the playoffs. Carolina has home field advantage. If you're
Hmm.
giving Carolina a fighter's chance, that's all you can do.
Yeah,
I think the Rams, if we go start off, I think the Rams are um, now going to flex their muscle. Puka Nakua is the absolute truth. You know what I mean? 129 catches during the season, and
crazy.
maybe probably about 100 of them were contested and were really tough.
For
Um,
real.
you know what I mean? Um, Matthew Stafford as MVP um, rings hollow, but you can't sneeze at 47 touchdown passes. You can't sneeze at that over 4,000 yards passing. You can't sneeze at that. Um,
Hmm.
Bryce Young, I think this is a big time spot for him and Dave Canales, the coach for the
Yes.
Carolina Panthers. A big spot for their defense. The Panthers aren't going to go in there and feel like the spot at the moment is too big for them. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because nobody expected them to be here in the first place. So when we talk about a team playing with house money and just play, they've got to go and you get a home playoff game. You know what I mean? With a 8-9 record, you get a home playoff game. Only in
Crazy.
America. You know what I'm saying?
Only
Um,
NFC
but
South.
what's your thoughts about the Rams in Carolina? First of all, Boston.
Well, I remember sitting here, telling somebody on the other side to watch out for the Panthers. When we was looking at, the final 6 to 5 games of the season, and we seen those 2 games, with the Panthers, and I was like, well, they've been playing pretty good. I think should watch out for the Panthers, and lo and behold, not only did the Panthers snake you, but also the Falcons, the Saints. The division of a whole has it wasn't a really good year for the NFC South. Um, the Panthers going in at 10-point underdog. Um, I will probably take the points because I just feel like 10 points in the playoffs at home. I know Devontae Adams will be back, but he's still a little banged out. Can't see him being 100%. Puka gonna do what Puka does. I
Mm-hmm.
seen plenty of games Puka get over 100 yards receiving with 0 touchdowns. So I need people to keep that in mind that even though he's had multiple games with 100+ yards, a lot of those games he did that with 0 touchdowns. So um, the run game still a little shaky. With their dual running back, but again Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay always seems to find a way to win in the playoffs. Everyone 0-0 in the playoffs, so I don't really look at the regular season record anymore. Um, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be the first playoff home game for the Panthers since what Cam Newton. was there. So I know it's going to be hype in charge down there. But I still have to probably say the Rams going to walk away with that. Um, I would be shocked. It would be a huge upset if Carolina could pull this off. And if Carolina could pull it off, that would definitely shake up the NFC a whole lot. Because nobody would expect that. Um, I don't even think some folks in Carolina would expect that. I guess when they saw the luck of the draw, they probably was like, "Oh God, Rams, you know, please." that's the you know the, that's how I feel. But any given Saturday,
Right.
anything can happen. Shaq said, I mean, not Shaq, who was Kevin Garnett said, anything is possible. So,
That's right.
who,
That's right.
who knows? Um, what's the other game on Saturday? It's the
On Saturday is Green Bay and Chicago Bears.
Green Bay Chicago. Should be a pretty good matchup. I think it would have been better if Michael Parsons was playing, but it still has some heat because it's two teams within their division, divisional rivals, playing in the first round. Um, it's really going to show, what Caleb Williams is really about. Um, Ben Johnson, back in the playoffs with his offensive creativity. He always seems to put Caleb in really good situations. Um, it's gonna be interesting seeing what this Green Bay defense gonna look like in the playoffs without Michael Parsons. That's a big blow because they brung him here for this particular
For this,
reason
yeah,
right
right,
here.
absolutely.
For this scenario right here, this should be Michael Parsons time. Bringing the pressure to Caleb Williams, but unfortunately he's sidelined. He's hurt. So um, as much
Go
as I
ahead and
want
say
to
it, Browski.
say,
It takes the air out the balloon. You know
yeah,
what I
no,
mean? You got
it
as hyped
does.
and charged as you should or could be. You know what I mean for this particular game. Go ahead, Browski.
It definitely do, and um, that's just the way that the cookie crumbles. For this guy, um, it's a toss up game to me. Nobody's really like in my eyes or favorite. I wouldn't be surprised if Green Bay, wins it in Chicago. I wouldn't be surprised if Chicago walks away with it. Um, who would I like to see? I like to see Chicago win. It's good to see the Bears um, becoming a good team again. Winning the division. Um, Ben Johnson first year, we see a difference that a coach makes.
Hmm.
Last year we were talking about Caleb Williams. We were saying like this guy is the bum. He wasn't ready. Maybe he should have stayed. In school
Yeah,
another
USC,
year.
right?
Things
Hmm.
like that. Now you bring in Ben Johnson, who see Caleb Williams. How limited he is. He plays. He set up plays for his skill set. No, Caleb Williams not going to be throwing 50, 60-yard bombs down the field. No, it's not what he does. He can get the ball out of his hand fast, throw check downs, and let his playmakers make plays with the ball in their hand. So we'll see what happens on Saturday. It should be two really good games. I'm looking forward to the playoffs this year. Looking forward to seeing new faces. Fresh faces, um, young faces. Not only Caleb, but Bryce Young. We just talked about Drake May.
We're gonna get to
Um,
that. We're gonna get to that.
you know what? Go ahead. I'm gonna let you steer the ship.
Um,
Who you wanna go with?
the Rams and the Carolina Panthers game. I mean, the easy money says I'm gonna take the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
The number might be a little bit funky, but
10 is
Carolina didn't Carolina beat the Rams already this year?
Yeah, but 10 is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why they play the game. The Green Bay Chicago Bears game. I wanted to add on to what you were saying about that. The third time that these two teams are going at it, and it's really going to be a great game. The first two games are great. You know what I mean? Caleb Williams is that dude. I think he's gonna actually with him and Ben Johnson and the way that offense is been moving and situating this year. He's gonna try to get that 270 so he can get to be the first Chicago Bears passer to have 4,000 yards. Win this game and you're on the way to being the pantheon of of good Chicago Bears quarterbacks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We can't put you in that level with Jim McMahon. They got a Super Bowl 20. They won. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But for right now, I mean the Chicago Bears have a quarterback. The Chicago
Mm-hmm.
Bears might have the best quarterback in that division.
Maybe.
And like you said, from riches to rags back to riches. If Caleb can pull this off, and who says that he can't? You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
then on the other side, you got Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, who are kind of like looking for their RESPECK. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because again, for as much as we give and credit as we give Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers for what they're doing, they end up doing what? Having to go on the road.
Yep.
You know what I mean? To play for their lives, basically, so to speak.
Yep.
So Saturday night, like we said, Browski, that might be the Rams Carolina might be the weakest game of the six games that we're gonna have on playoff weekend. But again, the Green Bay and
Yeah.
Chicago game Saturday night is gonna be cold, just what you want. NFL playoffs is going down. So again, I think that
Yes.
might be one of the interesting games of the weekend. So let's now go to Sunday. We got the Buffalo Bills in Jacksonville at 1 o'clock on Sunday. What's your thoughts on that?
That one right also to me is a toss up game. And if you would have asked me early in the season, you would say, "Oh, Buffalo versus Jacksonville in the first round," I'll be like, "Oh yeah, Buffalo absolutely." Would take
First of all,
that. But
you'd have probably laughed in their face about Jacksonville. What?
yeah, exactly. But I can't say that right now because of what Buffalo has shown me all season. Very inconsistent. If they can't run the ball, they're at a loss. What happened to Keon Coleman? He was supposed to be, the guy out there.
Too many crumble cookies in Buffalo
Yeah,
land.
he's supposed to be the guy out there. He has turned into a bust. The kid Shakir, he's been doing his thing. They got the both the two tight ends, but the one's been hurt. Um, was it Kincaid is out there? Is it Kincaid? Or the other one was show
Oh,
one of the
Kincaid. Mm-hmm.
yeah that they he's been hurt. So to me, if you got your tight end as like your number one receiver, that's really not it's really a red flag, when you look at the organization. You're like, oh, wait a minute, my number one receiver is my tight end. It's really not super successful. But they do have this guy named Josh Allen who will win out of anything. We have seen this guy throw for 3 touchdowns, run for 3 touchdowns, Superman cape on his back. But we also have seen this guy throw for 3 picks, a fumble, can't move the ball, indecisive, missed throws, all that jazz. So it really depends on what Josh Allen are we going to see. And then when we flip it to Jacksonville, it's like, whoa, Jacksonville kind of came out of nowhere. In the AFC South, at the beginning of the season, we was all looking at the Colts as like the front runners. They was running
Mm-hmm.
away with the division, and then next minute, the quarterback get hurt. Now, he's out. Um, he got hurt at a bad time because they was, on like a little losing streak. They kind of lost some of their mojo. Then he get hurt. Now they scrambling, scrambling for a quarterback. They bring in old man Rivers. He comes in for the final games of the season. Can't chalk out not one win. Um, and Jacksonville was just slowly and quietly creeping up the standings in the AFC South, winning games quietly. Trevor Lawrence looked amazing, in the second half of the season. Um, Now, I also feel the same way that I feel about Josh Allen with Trevor Lawrence. Which Trevor Lawrence are we going to get? Again, we're seeing the Trevor Lawrence that threw 4 picks in the first half of a playoff game and then came back in the second half and won the game. And then we also see the Trevor Lawrence that looked lost the whole game out there, can't connect with his receivers, um, out of rhythm, everything. But I'm looking forward to this game to see if the Bills can squeeze out a win because now there's no Kansas City, there's no Buffalo. I mean, there's no Baltimore, no
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati to get in this way. So the usual suspects are no longer in the playoffs. So this, you know, ideally supposed to be your clear path to the Super Bowl. But I don't know if they're going to mud up the path themselves or one of these young guys might knock them out. But the first step is taking care of business in Jacksonville. Um, Buffalo being on the road, it may benefit Buffalo a little bit more because they don't got to play in Buffalo. They don't got to play in the elements. It's terrible in Buffalo right now. It's freezing up there. They get to play in sunny Florida right now, So this may benefit them more than Jacksonville. This might be Jacksonville Achilles heel is the fact that Buffalo is playing in a warm climate and you guys are not playing in the frozen tundra up in Buffalo. So I don't know if home field advantage going to really help with Jacksonville. When we look at the point spread, Vegas is giving Buffalo what 1.5. So even they are conflicted of what the outcome going to be because you can't really trust Josh Allen. Um,
Mm.
how you feel about that, man?
Um, you touched on a whole bunch of things. If this game was in Buffalo, where Buffalo could have been a division champ and had a home playoff game, the elements would have came in effect. Jacksonville would have been worse off. For like we've been talking about this, like the Carolina Rams game, but we're
Mhm.
not. So Jacksonville's coming into this game. Um, when we talk about Josh Allen and his playoff situation, we also got to talk about Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
All right. Again, he's been in the playoffs before. That big comeback against the Chargers a couple of years back. But
Mhm.
now there's a lot of how does our friend say it's shine time for you because you're one
Mhm.
of the top teams in the AFC, and you're going to be tested from the door. So now you got the advantage. You have the home, you have the weather in your favor. You have a defense that's ready to come into his own. You got a quarterback that's definitely one of the hottest in the league right now. What are you going to do with it? Because you got a guy that, as a quarterback, that comes in and is expected to, especially like Brosky said, to come in and have a clear shot to San Francisco in Super Bowl 60. But what are you going to do to hold down the fort?
Yeah.
The Buffalo Bills coming in. James Cook is going to do his thing. Josh Allen's going to do his thing. It's which defense is going to give it up first. Which defense
Yeah.
do we trust? We're in the playoffs. Is Josh Allen? He's given it up a couple times against the Houston Texans in the playoffs. He's given it up
Mhm.
a couple times. You know what I mean? So my thing, I'm looking at Josh Allen with a kind of jaundiced eye, like I really don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause, like you know what I'm saying. So again, Buffalo's expected to win this game. But I think Jacksonville is going to give them a serious run for their money, and it just sucks that Travis Hunter is not out there, and which would make this game really, really crazy. But
Hmm.
again, I think I'm going to have to lean towards the home team in this one because I think Jacksonville is not finished yet, you know. And again,
Yeah.
it's going to be another disappointment for Buffalo. And again, they're going to have to explain. They're going to have to really explain this one. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
definitely.
But that would mean, you know what that would signify a Jacksonville win. To kind of really kind of like the guard being snatched away from the Josh Allens and the Burrows and the Lamars, and now you got the Trevor Lawrences coming in and making a stand like, hey, check me out too. I'm here too. Um, this is the game right here that Browski's gonna expound on a lot. I'm interested in hearing her thoughts on this one. Sunday at 4 o'clock at the link is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the San Francisco 49ers. Go ahead, Kimmy. I know you got a lot to say about this. So this is your squad. So the floor is yours.
Well, look what happened here. Look what fate has brung to us in Philadelphia. A rematch of the NFC Championship game in beautiful Philadelphia. You know, um, it's going to be different this time because the 49ers are coming in here really banged up. You know, they don't know if Trent Williams going to be playing. If he's not playing, good luck to that offensive line against my defensive line. They're not sure if Ricky Pearsall is going to play. You know, he's been banged up the whole season. So right now, they're walking into the link with Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, and George Kittle. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right, that's it. Okay,
Oh, that's it.
um, okay. You know, when looking at the seeding, you know, a lot of people here was like, oh, well, Chicago lost. You know, we dropped the ball. We could have been the 2 seed. Blah blah blah. Truthfully, 2 versus 3, it didn't matter because when I look at the teams that we could have potentially played against, they were pretty much the same to me. You know, 49ers versus Green Bay. It's like, okay, it's almost the same team. Both really hurt on the defensive side. So with the 49ers coming in, you know, a team that we are familiar with and a team that they are familiar, you know, also with us. Um, I'm pretty sure we're going to see some interesting play calling coming from um, Kyle. You know,
Shanahan.
yeah, Kyle. You know, he's real creative when it comes to offensive side, but I just need Brock Purdy to realize that this is a different defensive front that he's going to face this time. He thought the last guys was monsters. Well, these guys are demons. They are on demon time all the time. Everyone's coming back healthy at the right time. N'Kobe Dean was back at practice today. Lane Johnson back at practice today to help solidify the offensive line. I thought that it was an excellent choice for Nick to sit the starters down because let's just say they go out there and play and oh, I don't know, a hamstring injury pop out of nowhere, you know, on a meaningless game for real. So people was crying about that. I looked at it as a smart move, a real veteran coach move that he did, not trying to be extremely player friendly. Yeah, he let Devontae go out there get his 1,000 yards. I thought that was really stand up move. So he got his 1,000, took him right on out. Sit down. Um, I'm looking to see us to be able to move the ball better on the ground now that Lane is back, and also I'm hoping to see some type of creativity, not just from Kevin Patillo, but I need them. I'm hoping that Nick steps in and just assists with the play calling, because we're seeing that when we play against the Raiders. Because when we played against the Raiders, I noticed the play calling. It looked the a lot like Indy when the Colts had Andrew Luck out there, when he was out there slinging the rock around there, and Nick Sirianni was the offensive coordinator down there. He was working on the offensive side. So I'm hoping Nick steps in. He don't have to take over, but you know, really put his imprint on the offense for Sunday. And I already know what my defense is going to do. I already know. You know, having Quinion on one side, having Coop out there, having Reed out there. I gotta give Adoree Jackson a little props too, because he's been playing a little bit better, only because my defensive line is ridiculous. And thank goodness that N'Kobe Dean will be back to help Zach Bond, at that linebacker position. Because one thing I'll say, N'Kobe Dean, you know, he really helped gel our defense together. He's crazy blitz, like shooting the gap. I can't I haven't seen anybody, that we had on our squad that able at that linebacker position to shoot the gap like that in a while. I have seen him blow up plenty of running backs coming through that gap, trying to protect the quarterback, and blew up the play. He may not have gotten the sack, but he definitely he's a disruptor, 100%. I'm looking for us to dominate the 49ers, pack them up, send them back to the West Coast, and then we look for, the next squad. Listen, we don't have to be the number one seed. We don't need to be the number two seed, because at the end of the day, if everything works out like it had before, NFC Championship game will be in Philadelphia. Because, if I want to look at Seattle as the one seed, I'm not really convinced at that. You know, we all know seeding doesn't really
Doesn't matter.
matter. We saw that last year. We wasn't the one seed last year. We saw the one seed get bounced in the first round. So at the end of the day, the playoffs still run through Philly. I don't care what nobody says. It still runs through Philly, because you gotta beat the champ to be the champ. And right now we're still the champs.
Um, Question:
Hmm.
Is Ringo still on the team?
God,
I was
he won't
like,
be out
what?
there at all. That guy is. Whew,
What the hell was that?
whew. Yeah,
But
I never seen a play like that ever in my life. I have rewatched that play several times, and I'm looking at him like, so you see Josh Johnson running towards you. You said, you know what? Let me just turn and run to the back of the end zone. I said, you know what, my man, go ahead, bro, because
let me find somebody to cover right fast.
for real.
Like,
I said, oh, I said this.
so but that's neither here nor there because you got
Mhm.
a home playoff game against the San Francisco 49ers. I feel like, um, to me, on the outside looking in, as a non-playoff participant, right? Um, I might feel like y'all might pull the proverbial rabbit out the hat or the proverbial trick out the sleeve. I feel like now is when you play for everything. During the season, when you guys was winning and doing the thing, that's what you're supposed to do. You lost a couple of games here and there. All right, whatever. Patullo got criticized. They threw omelets at his house. They was talking about Sirianni. They was talking about Jalen Hurts. They was talking about Saquon wasn't getting the ball enough. AJ Brown was on the sideline doing his numbers, doing Geico commercials, and Devontae was still just doing his thing. On the defensive side, you had what you had. Um, I feel like this game right here should be the first step to kind of like reestablishing who the Eagles are in the NFC hierarchy. You know what I mean? The 49ers coming into this game with Brock Purdy, McCaffrey, and their whole thing is going to be like, well, we had these injuries, the guys left, the Debos of the world, the Warners
Yeah.
out, you know what I mean? That type of thing. Again, I feel like this should be one of those games where the home team is favored by 10 points
Yeah, it's only four
because
and a half.
I think that's a number for me. If I'm a bet man like that, I'm jumping on that
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like the Eagles are at least a touchdown better than the 49ers. At
Yeah.
least, at the bare
Mm-hmm.
minimum. You
Yeah.
know, um, Sunday at 8 o'clock, we got the Chargers and the New England Patriots. What are your thoughts on that game? And do you finally see Harbaugh coming through? That means Justin Herbert won, or do you see Mike Vrabel and Drake May continuing what they started, during this regular season and basically towards the end of last year, coming to fruition now in this home playoff game on Sunday night?
Um, I think we're going to really see the emergence of Drake May and Mike Vrabel. Drake has had a very good season this year. He took what he brought from last season in the last season when he started catching fire. It's like, oh, this guy actually can play. He actually looks good. He looks like he should be running this team. And then this year, he has come full circle, along with Mike Rabel, along with just the offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels. Doing what he does best, and also the defense of New England has been playing very well. Um, Now it's always some type of controversy, going on in New England, and this time it's Stephon Diggs, having some issues with a chef, his private chef, some. Then you got the other guy, forgot his name from the defense side, who's having some type of domestic issues also. So it's like, here we go, New England, some type of
It's not even
controversy.
it's not even a Super Bowl yet. They wilded already, right?
They're already wilding out. It wouldn't be a New England Patriots playoff run without some type of off the field BS. Not on the field stuff, but off the field. So I definitely am looking to see New England, they should win this game. They should definitely win this game. The Chargers to me, they are happy to be here type of team right now because I'm not entirely sure if I trust Justin Herbert, um, the rookie Amari Hampton, like solid run game. I just don't know about the defense. The defense sometimes give up the goods. It's a little iffy here and there. Um, and I just like I said, I can't trust Justin Herbert yet. It is something about him that makes me see like if I was betting, I definitely wouldn't put no money on a Justin Herbert line. I don't believe in this guy. He has shown me year after year that he's extremely inconsistent, and I can't and you can't be trusted. I mean, Jim, he brung in some he brung in the winning culture, to the Chargers, but I still feel like they need some more help. Um, I mean, they got old reliable Keenan Allen, but I mean, how much can he do by himself? Um, I just don't know. I gotta rock with the Patriots. You know, as much as I don't like to say that, I have to rock with the Patriots on this one. I think New England's gonna pull it out.
Um, yeah, this is gonna probably be one of those like 31-17 things of that nature, like that. You know, the
Yeah.
Patriots gonna, walk to, you know, the Chargers. Can't talk about how the Chargers are coming on to the East Coast because they've won plenty of playoff games on the East Coast and with early starts, mind you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This Sunday night, 8 o'clock start. So it's not going to matter. I think what even bodes even worse for the Chargers that it's night. It's in New England, so it's going to be mad
So
brick
mad cold,
cold.
yeah. And they
So
better
that
hope it don't rain. It might
right.
rain.
So there you go. So I'm with you on that one, Kimmy. The Patriots all day on that one. What's the number on that, Brosky? You know?
3.5. New England
Yeah,
getting
they're
three
gonna
and
New
a half.
England's gonna cover that easy.
Yeah, 3.5.
They're gonna cover that easy. Um, Monday night, Houston Texans, Pittsburgh Steelers. The Mike Tomlin Personal Redemption Bowl, where Brosky, we talked about this. And again, yeah, my thing was, yeah, he never had a losing season. Yeah, he's been around long, as long as Bill Cowher, Chuck Noll. He's been around like those guys.
Yeah.
He's earned his respect. Fire
Yes.
Mike Tomlin? Are you crazy? Are you bugging out? I think Mike Tomlin. This is the Mike Tomlin redemption tour, so to speak, to begin. I'm gonna let you talk about this game first, and then I'm gonna get into a thing on this one.
Ha, that's so funny you said Mike Tomlin redemption tour. Um, I mean, Luke Mason that field goal is what kept Mike Tomlin there. You
Hey,
know, him missing that
Mark
field
Andrews
goal.
dropping the pass last year kept Buffalo in the thing. You right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I feel like if he would have made the field goal, we would have been talking about Mike Tomlin parting ways with the Pittsburgh Steelers because I mean it's still time. Um, but by them winning the North, him in the playoffs gives him another year, right? Well, they're going against the Texans, who are playing outstanding defense. The defense is what's really setting them apart of the teams. Aaron Rodgers is like what, like 45. Um, it's like his last hurrah. I can't see myself picking the Steelers. Um, the Texans. This to me, this game is like I don't really care for either team. Really, the Texas defense, like I said, is good. It is good. Um, I mean, we have been wondering if C.J. Stroud, was falling off because last season it definitely gave us the falling off the cliff, look. But this year,
Sophomore Diggs vibes.
yeah, like this year he definitely kind of redeemed himself. I mean, is it the C.J. Stroud redemption tour? He started out hot as a rookie. Second season kind of fell off. Now it's like, oh, wait a minute, like he can play. Maybe the rookie season wasn't like a fluke. Maybe this guy is really, really talented. Marks, the running back Marks, he's been decent. They got Nico, so Dalton Schultz, everything's pointing to the Texans to win. But something in me
Yep.
is just telling me that this old man and Aaron Rodgers is going to find a way to win this game
is DK eligible for this game?
Yes, yeah, he was
Okay.
only suspended for the 2 games.
Okay.
Um, but for some reason, I'm not thinking it's going to be DK. I think it's going to be Fire Move
Tight end.
and Gainwell because Gainwell has been like Aaron Rodgers' favorite target
Who's
now.
the other guy? Browski? Williams?
Um, what the running back?
No, the tight end, the big 6'8"
Oh,
guy for the Steelers. Is
I
his
think his
name
last name
Williams?
is Williams. Yeah, but it seemed like Fire Move always he's really reliable in the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because he's being big game for Kenny Gainwell. I mean DK will make his mark here and there. I think a lot of um, attention is going to be on DK. That's why I think it's going to be a lot of check down with Gainwell and Fire Move. So it's so crazy. Like I can't stand Aaron Rodgers. Like I would never want to pick this guy. But it just something in me is telling me the Steelers are going to and it's at home. Okay?
Yeah,
It is at home.
that's the thing.
That that somehow, some way he is going to roll these guys to a win, which will add on another year to Mike Tomlin lifeline because you not only make the playoff, you win the division, then you get a win. So I'm going to go with the Steelers. Vegas got Houston at 3, giving them 3. So even Vegas is saying like, well, there's still a chance that the Steelers somehow would sneak in and win.
Absolutely.
So I'm going with the
Because
Steelers. How
we
you feel
already
about
know
this?
that the home team gets automatic 3 points, right?
Exactly.
So
So you might as well say the even.
If the Texans are getting 3, it's an even game. That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, um, I, everything that you said, Broski, I was gonna say. Um, we got Aaron Rodgers, we got Mike Tomlin, we got the D'Amico Ryans and the Texans defense, the Will Andersons of the world, the Stanleys, all those guys. Um, if this game was in Houston, I'd be like, yeah.
Mm, yeah.
But you got that element going on. These guys, have been here before in this moment. The Texans always seem to get that road playoff game, even the games that they have at home. They do
Mm-hmm.
better and things of that nature. But those road playoff games, I remember in Kansas City and Baltimore. Now it's Pittsburgh. But something's telling me in my mind and my heart to hearts, if I gotta pick somebody, I'm picking the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this game. Um, on what strength? On the strength that Watt's going to make a big play. Rogers is going to make a couple of big plays, like Broski said earlier. Fryermuth's going to make big plays on third down. Um, and again, I'm not taking nothing away from the Houston Texans, but I just think that the Steelers are going to make the bigger plays when
Yeah.
needed. If the game is close in the fourth quarter, where the Houston Texans may have to drive to get in range to kick a field goal. I think that the Steelers, the crowd, man, this
It's
is
going to be
where
rocking.
it's part of itself. This is where the crowd becomes a real big factor. The regular season, you're happy to be there. You're on TV, whoop de whoop. But now is when it counts. You know what I
Yeah, you got to
mean?
do your job.
So, right, absolutely, do your job. So, playoff weekend in the NFL is gonna be crazy. One more question about the NFL, Browski. The Seattle Seahawks are the number one seed in the NFC. Denver Broncos number one seed in the AFC. Which number one seed loses first? Or which number one
Seattle.
seed loses?
Seattle. I think they lose in the second round against the Rams.
And I'm gonna say this now that the regular season is over. I remember one show that we did. It might have been a little something that we called the NFL preview show, where one of us on this panel one of us said that the Denver Broncos were going to go to the Super Bowl. And one of us on this panel almost spun around like the Exorcist
True.
and said, "Man, are you out of your mind?
True.
It's not there yet." But I just had a funny feeling, Kim. I said, with Sean Payton,
Mhm.
and I think a lot of people not putting enough respect on Bo Nix. I hear
Mhm.
people now, Bo Nix is this and Bo Nix is that. Bo Nix is the number one seed in the AFC.
Definitely. Yes, he is.
Not Joe Burrow,
No, not
not
Lamar.
Lamar Jackson,
Not
not
Pat.
Josh Allen, not Patrick Mahomes, not Shador Sanders, none of that. It's Bo Nix. And I'm
Yep.
gonna pat myself on the back, and I'm gonna say it because oh no, you did, yeah, I did, yeah. I said it with a straight face,
Mhm.
and I meant it, right? I'm
Yeah.
not gonna not pop my collar yet because the Denver Broncos still got a couple games to win before they get to San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
But when you see something, and then on the other side of that, I also saw the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Mhm.
So one eye was working and one eye wasn't. So again, at the end of the day, sometimes things happen like that. But again, the Broncos are in position in the number one seed in the AFC. Um, and right now, Jacksonville, Buffalo, the Chargers, New England, Houston, and Pittsburgh. And
Yeah.
Denver's going to get home games against either any of whatever team that survives. Denver's going to get
Mhm.
the home game.
Yep.
I don't really see any of those teams. Jacksonville went into Denver and beat them.
Yes, they did. Yeah. Yes.
So again, we'll be back next week talking about, oh, did you see that? Or we didn't see that
Yeah.
coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, let's slide. College football playoffs down to the final. What do we call it? The final four.
Final four.
The Fiesta Bowl on tomorrow night. Actually,
Yep. Yeah.
Miami Hurricanes going against Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin is at home, like he probably is staring at this, like he wants to punch himself. But that's another story.
Mhm.
The Peach Bowl, Indiana Hoosiers. No, not those basketball dudes.
Not
The
those
Indiana
basketball.
Hoosiers against the Oregon Ducks on Friday in the Peach Bowl. The two winners of those two games will meet um, next Monday night for the national championship. Where are you at, Browski, with the Fiesta Bowl, Miami and Ole Miss?
Ah man. What a week for Miami. Nobody said, "Hey, Miami's gonna beat Ohio State."
Oh,
The the
no, no,
masses,
oh,
you know,
the people there.
the people on them. No, nobody was, what was high on Miami. Getting the draw of Ohio State. Um, the game was that game. Miami defense definitely showed up and showed out. Man, Ole Miss. I'm going. You know what? I'm going to rock with Miami. I'm going to rock with the hot hand. They've been playing hot. Um, I'm not really big on Ole Miss. I truly think Indiana's going to win the national title. That was who I picked when the brackets came out. And I looked, and after seeing them beat Ohio State, I said, you know what? I said, I think this is Indiana year. Um, they, number one seed. I think they're going to take it. Oregon's fun. Oregon's a fun pick. You you expect Oregon's offense to look good. That's what we see. From Oregon. But that Indiana defense is something else. They really get busy on their side, and I like the quarterback. So yeah, I'm just gonna rock with Indiana throughout the rest of the playoffs.
Shame on you.
I know.
Shame, shame,
Yeah, I
shame,
know.
shame on
Somebody
you.
got to do it.
That's okay though. Um, Miami Ole Miss Fiesta Bowl. Miami, we got our revenge against Ohio State,
Yeah, you
which we
got your
really
lick
did.
back.
Yeah, we got a lick back, which we really didn't need because that wasn't pass interference, but that's neither here nor there. Ole Miss hung out against Georgia, kept it
hmm
close, and did what they had to do, and won out in the end. That's what
Yeah,
I'm scared of. Trinidad Chamberlain is a dude that we have to contain. We can't let him get outside and make off-schedule plays. We can't let him, scramble around for 25 and 30 yards and then find somebody wide open in the middle of the field. We can't let him do that. On 3rd and 17, we got to make it go and make him bring the punting unit on. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Carson Beck, you got to be better, man. Play a mistake-free game. I know it's hard for you to do that. You know what I mean? But now you have to. The lights are going to be on the brightest now. You know what I'm saying? You played pretty well against, Ohio State. You made your numbers. You did what you had to do. But I'm saying to you right now, the defense of Miami, Ruben Bain, those kids like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, you got to let them get some rest. Let me get an 11 play drive. Let me get a long drive. Keep Trinidad Chambers and Ole Miss off the field.
It's
You know what I
asking a lot
mean?
from Carson.
Yeah, you know what I mean, Carson. So again, so that means you're gonna have to kind of like be kind of like have variety in the play selection and the play calling. Mix it up. Keep Ole Miss on balance. Um, so when you do give Ole Miss gets a chance to get the ball, you got to make them feel like they have to score. You know,
hmm
we really played up to our potential against Ohio State because again, we were looking for revenge first of all, and then second of all, we were looking to show that we were better than Ohio State from the door. You know what I mean? So again, we
hmm
did that. Now Ole Miss don't sleep because Ole Miss didn't get here by chance. Ole Miss got here. The SEC, enough said, right?
Yeah.
So, and Ole Miss is, playing for proverbial. What do we call it, Browski? With the Lane Kiffin situation. So we're gonna call that what pride. We're gonna call it we could do this without you. You know what I mean?
Basically,
That type of
yeah.
thing. So Miami has to definitely be on the lookout for that inspirational type of thing. Just go out
hmm
there and play ball, handle your business, get out to a lead, hold the lead. No bad penalties. No bad penalties. Keep play discipline. Play within yourself. Um, if the defense shows up like I think it will against Ole Miss, it's going to be an easy game for Miami, like 37-6. This is
Mm.
where the balloon. This is where the balloon pops for Ole Miss. They had a great season. You know what I mean. Now they can go focus on talking crazy about Lane Kiffin. You know what I mean. Um, but that's that. Indiana and Oregon rematch.
hmm
Indiana went up to Oregon and beat them.
hmm
Dante Moore. A lot of odds are going to be on this game. We already know that the odds are going to be on Fernando Mendoza and what the Indiana Hoosiers do and things of that nature. I like to see a good game here. I don't want to see Indiana just roll over Oregon. Will I think they will? No, I don't think they will roll over Oregon. But I think they're going to have Oregon on their toes and they're going to see like Indiana's for real because they already experienced it. So now they're
Correct.
playing on a neutral field. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So now, can Oregon now feel like they can, hang out with these guys? They have a second chance and to get to a next level, which is a national championship. Do
hmm
I see Indiana beating Oregon? Yeah. Do I think Indiana could beat Oregon? Yeah. Do I think Indiana will beat Oregon? No. I think Oregon's going to beat Indiana. I think Oregon's going to beat them. Dante Moore, he's going to have to show up. Can't make you can't make mistakes in this game. Can't
Yeah.
make mistakes. So I think my national championship is going to be Oregon and Miami. Browski has
Mm.
Miami and Indiana. Um,
hmm
so that's where we at with that. Let me say one thing before Brasky's gonna get. We're gonna get into some basketball talk because we wanted to. Because Brasky said last week we're gonna start focusing on that a little bit more. Down in Sports Talk in the building, live and direct on a Wednesday night, y'all. Because Browski had to celebrate some celebrations with the celebration of the celebrations. You heard? So
hmm
that's what happened. So all the celebrations is going Browski's way. All of them. You got the Mummers Parade. You got the anniversaries going
Nobody cares
on.
about that.
You got, oh, nobody. Okay, well, see, we get the official Philly perspective now. You know what I mean? So a
Yeah.
lot of stuff going on. You got LL Cool J tearing it down on New Year's and all of that. You know what I mean? Bosky cracking up, laughing over here. You know what I mean? So that's what it is, and that's where we at. But one thing I want to say before we get into our NBA, NCAA basketball chop up, Gonzaga, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
You started early. You started
Gonzaga,
early.
right? So that's what that is. Bosky, talk about the unrivaled league a little bit. That's starting back up. Talk about that a little bit before we get
Yeah.
into it.
What? Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. The first three
Yeah.
games came on. Um. It's gonna. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, please watch the Unrivaled because the way that the CBA talks is going with the WNBA, it may not be no season this year. I'm just gonna throw that out there right there. The Unrivaled start out again fire. You got the one team with a bunch of young bucks on there, with like Paige Beckers and the chick Dominique from France who can dunk. They started out hot. Um, please support it. The more and more people watch, the bigger the league has become. They already added two new teams this year. Um, I can't wait for the one-on-one tournament. Like that's all. That's like my favorite part. Seeing them play one-on-one. It sucks that Fee is hurt. She had to get surgery on both her ankles, so she won't be able. She's not participating this year, but you just get to see some of the biggest stars of WNBA come in and showcase their talent more. Um, everybody's in there. You got Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, everybody's playing. Stewie's playing, it's a fun league. Um, they're going to do a tour where they're going to be going to different cities. They are coming to Philly, I think, sometime this month. That joint already sold out, because we're, anticipating our WNBA team. And one thing I just don't understand is why the WNBA and our rival are not like teamed up. Like why WNBA won't ride on the coattail of rival to put more hype into the league. But all I gotta say right now, it's still very new, very young. Just watch it. It's good basketball, good 3-on-3 basketball, full court. Um, and just check it out. Just check it out. That's all I gotta say about it right now. Cause like I said, it just started the other day, so we'll get some more games under our belt.
All right. I mean, that's definitely a good look as far as keeping the women over here than when the WNBA off season, which will probably be longer than anticipated, like Browski spoke to. Um, but again, it gives them a chance to make some more money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stay competitive and all that good stuff. I just wanted to, kind of like put some light on it. You know what I mean? Because other shows won't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so we just want to kind of shed some light on it. But the 7 foot one female from Texas Tech. Have you seen her?
Yeah, I saw them.
Wow.
Yeah, it's definitely wow. Yeah. Um.
I don't want to, jump out the window and say, she's gonna do this, she's gonna do that, because I haven't seen her, in action. But if she is what they say she is,
That just changed the whole game.
it changed the whole her and
Changed the whole
Audie
game.
Crooks in the
I was
final
gonna
four.
say. I was gonna say.
Right, Kim?
Audie Crooks, man,
Right.
big 5'5" out there. She gives me baby Shaq vibes. not not only is like her size intimidating, but the fact that she has good footwork,
Hmm.
hands,
Hmm.
she can shoot, she can pass, and of course she can create her own shot and rebound. It's crazy. You know,
Very athletic. Very athletic.
very athletic out there, killing the game. I mean, putting up 35-point double double on any given night on anybody. And when I be watching those Iowa State games, in my mind, I be thinking about the opponent like, bro, you're not going to double her?
Right.
Put a chick in the front and the back. Guard the entry pass coming into the post because, like I said, she has good hands. So you
And once she
throwing the
gets the
pass,
ball, it's over with.
yeah. Once you get it, it's done. It don't matter. I didn't see her turn around jump shot, nothing but net. Going, is she when she get on that freaking block, and
Right.
I didn't see her do a drop step right to the hoop.
Bang.
It's unstoppable. So I I can't wait to see her at the next level. And I need more people to put some respect on her name. Because she's doing the thing, and
Absolutely.
and and, and,
Absolutely.
and she's just
Absolutely.
gotten better each year. Like she
Yep.
gotten a lot better. You can tell that she's been working in the off season on her game, and it's showing. So
Can I say something real quick? It just came to my mind.
go ahead.
Audi Crooks from Iowa State makes Courtney Paris. I don't know if you remember Courtney Paris from Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Audi Crooks makes Courtney Paris look like Manute Bowl.
She does. She does.
I'm gonna say this again for my man Most High. Audi Crooks makes Courtney Paris look like Manute Bowl. Real talk.
No, that's a fact.
Audi Crooks is stout and
She
she
is.
carries it well and she's athletic and you know what I mean? You're not even
Yes.
thinking about how big and wide she is. You're just thinking about wow, look how she moves, like kind of
Yeah.
like light on her feet, kind of like. Well,
Yes.
yeah, light on
Very.
the feet. You know what I'm
Very
saying?
light. Mm-hmm.
As opposed like Courtney Paris, that's the same kind of vibe Courtney Paris brought to the table. But
Yeah.
Paris wasn't as didn't take up as much space
No, she
as
didn't.
Audi Crooks. Courtney Paris is nice. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But I just wanted to kind of like talk about that a little bit, shed some light on that. Gonzaga. Um, let me talk about my Knicks for a second. Gonzaga. Let me talk about my Knicks, right? Um, a lot of people are mad right now. They know the Knicks are being exposed. Detroit got them, and then they lost a couple of games. It's an 82 game season. It's to be expected. I would rather hear people talk about, well, now, Thibodeau and Mike Brown comparisons. Knock it off. Mike Brown is going to tell you, and we said that in a little show I think that we called the NBA preview,
Mm-hmm.
right? That one of us on the panel, who's a Knicks fan, right, said that Mike Brown, the difference between Mike Brown and Tibbs is that Mike Brown is going to tell you what it is when you're not playing to your level, right? And if you
Yeah.
can't take it, that's not on him, that's on you, right? As far as the minutes is concerned, Jalen Brunson's one's minutes are slightly down, right? Which is a good thing. But everybody else's minutes, the Harts, the Bridges, the Towns, their numbers are the same. So again, at the end of the day, for me with the Knicks, is now it's time to show and prove. When Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton was out for the year, and we're gonna win the East and this and that and the third. No, we're third in the East. Why is that? We're third in the East. And Jason Tatum said he wants to come back and play this year. Right? So
And
again,
Halliburton keeps saying it.
and for me, it's like, what are you going to do about it? Don't worry about rotation because you're going to earn your playing time or not. Don't worry about what the kid Kolik is doing. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's trying to earn his minutes. Right?
Yeah.
So, Carl Anthony Towns, it's time for you to step up and be the leader that you purport to be. You could wear the Wu Tang dunks and all of that. You could do all of that. You could sit and talk about the bodega cats and you could all of that Dominic. That's fly. All of that is fly. I appreciate that. That's real dope. I get it. But now, when you get in that place they call Madison Square Garden, the spot where you play basketball that's above Penn Station, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to represent that. And right now, we said at the beginning of the season, Kim, the coast is clear, and you're not taking advantage of it. Not that you're having a poor season by any stretch, but you're supposed to exercise your, what do you say, Brosky? Exercise your dominance. You
Yeah.
got this one over here talking about Joel Embiid back in the Sixers are back in the building. No, you know what I mean? So again, the Knicks are not taking advantage of their um, full capabilities. You got people in correctional facilities talk about how the Knicks will be better. You see what I did there?
I see.
You know what I mean? So I feel like right now in the mix, we're in a part of the season right now where Browski says, and I agree, totally agree with her, that Christmas is over, the
Yep.
holidays are done.
Yep.
Now it's time to get real and get serious. Even though there's 4 or 5 good months left in the season, the trade deadline is coming up.
Trade deadline moving fast.
You know, Trey Young is talking like, yo, first of all, it was bubbling. No, first of all, it was percolating. Then it was
Yeah.
bubbling. Now it's boiling. Then it's boiling over because now it's like, oh, it's rumors and this and that. Now
He
Trey
said, "Get
Young's
me
like,
out of there."
get me to Washington.
Of all teams, he said, "You know what? He said Atlanta is so bad. I'd rather go to Washington." I said, "What? Of all teams, you pick Washington?" I said, "You know what? It must be terrible in Atlanta. It must be terrible there."
I mean, that's a thing that's gone from SUGAR to Sugar Honey Iced Tea real fast.
Real
They
fast.
were winning first round playoff series. They were trying to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and this and that, and then went down the toilet real fast. So
Real quick.
the evidence of what's going on in Atlanta is when they have Trey Young, they're like a really really bad team. When they don't have Trey Young, they're decent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that would let you know what the problem could be. Um, Trey Young wanting to be out could be a problem as well. So again, everybody needs a fresh start. What's your thoughts on what's going on in the NBA? I know you want to speak to your Sixers right now because y'all are kind of like breathing some life into that situation into the East. And if the Sixers get to where they need to be at, the East is going to be crazy again. Go ahead, Kimmy.
Oh man. So remember, some time ago you asked me about the Sixers and I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know what this team is because I haven't seen my three paychecks, big paycheck guys
That's one way to put it.
on the court together,
Right.
and then we seen different variations where Maxie and B, we know what those two are together, and then we seen Maxie and Paul, and then we saw Paul and Embiid, but never all three together, and it was like, I don't know. Well, here we go. Embiid is healthier. I won't say healthy. I say healthier than what he has been. Um, and it also looks like he is buying in to what Nick Nurse is selling him. And what Nick Nurse is selling him is the fact that, my man, this is not your team anymore. This is Maxie's team. We're moving into a different direction. We had a lateral step into Maxie's direction. He's the captain now. He's leading this
Never.
bus.
He's the captain. No.
He's the captain now. And I believe Joel has now started to buy in. When I look at this team, I look at Maxie as the number one scoring option.
Mm-hmm.
Joel is number two. VJ Edgecombe, our rookie
Rookie.
who's been playing out of his mind, who hasn't played like a rookie, should be our third option. And Paul George, bro, you can give me between 12 and 18 points, 8 rebounds, a couple assists, and a great defensive effort from you. I'm happy with that. I don't I don't need you to come out scoring 30 points, 26 points. No, I don't need that because if that's happening, then that's telling me that my main guy, Maxi, is not getting the ball. Or you guys are in his way for him to be creative on the offensive side. It used to burn me up seeing Joel set up at the 3 point line and not like at the elbow or on the block. Well, now I welcome that because it spreads out the floor more. I have a two guard in VJ who can play and move without the ball. He's a very good complementary piece to Maxi, who is ball dominant at times. His shooting has improved a lot. His finishing at the basket has improved a lot. He also improved on the defensive end. He has improved on his decision making. Maxi is turning into a bona fide superstar in front of us. And the evidence is in the NBA All Star voting. You know, he's third on the list. When I really, and I just need people to stop having the bias because there are some Sixers bias out there because people hate the process. I get that. But when I look at Maxi, to me, he looks like the best guard in the East right now. Um, it's hard to stop this guy. He's extremely fast. He plays with so much joy. And then I
Mm-hmm.
look at my rookie,
Mm-hmm.
you know, another guy who fearless. This guy will drive to the basket. He will try to dunk on anybody. He has made clutch shot in games. He's not afraid of the big moment. He plays good defense. He VJ to me right now is clear cut rookie of the year. He's looking like a steal in the draft. You know, um, people, oh, should have drafted Ace Bailey. Oh, Cooper Flag. You know, we already got his name sketched on the trophy already. Season just started. You already got, crown him rookie of the year. You didn't expect this guy by the name of VJ to show up and show out here in Philadelphia. I'm still looking for us to make some type of move, in the trade deadline. I
Mm-hmm.
can see us moving some pieces. I mean, Kelly Oubre could be on the move. Uh, maybe maybe even a Quentin Grimes. He's only here for 1 year, and it's not enough ball. You know, for everybody to get their touches. I can even see a move being made for Jerry McCain. I mean, it can happen. We are very guard heavy. I just need a little bit more help, at power forward, and at small forward. But again, this season to me is very low expectation for me because I don't know how healthy Joel and Paul George are going to be for the rest of the season. I say all this right now, and 3 games from now, we could see Paul George be out, or we could see Joel be out. I don't know, So
That's
we
right,
will
Dawson.
go as
That's right.
far as these guys' health takes us, and how far. Maxi can also take us this year. So I'm excited to see good basketball here in Philadelphia. And as you said earlier, the East is wide open. So who knows what can happen in the second half of the season? We can catch fire. The next thing you know, we could be top seed in the East, or you know, or be like a threat in the East. Who knows?
Oh yeah, definitely that at the bare
This
minimum.
year is definitely super wide open, and with us starting to gel together, it definitely do make the East look a little bit more interesting and a little bit more competitive than what it was looking like at the start of the season. Because at the start of the season, we were just like, oh, it was crowning the Knicks already, because it was like, oh well, who else? Tatum's out, Halliburton's out, but surprisingly, Boston, Jalen Brown is still balling in Boston,
Hmm.
with Derek White. These guys are still rolling. So I'm just taking it one game at a time. It's still very early in the season,
Absolutely, Kim.
and my philosophy by now. The season don't start till after the All Star game and to after the trade deadline. That's when we see what's really going to happen.
Speaking of the All Star game, how are you anticipating what the USA roster is going to look like versus the
Yes,
world?
yes,
And
yeah, I'm
no,
more
not
interested.
to keep your thought. Hold your thought. I just wanted to ask you that to gauge your temperature because I asked a few people about that, and they were talking about their anticipation level is more up than the last couple of years for the All Star game
Yes,
just because of that. Go ahead, go ahead.
yes. Well, we have been speaking about the lack of All Star game. Like it doesn't matter. It's
Hmm.
a pickup game.
Hmm.
How bad it was. How
Nobody wants to play
nobody
defense.
wants to play defense.
Mhm.
Well, now that they finally have done USA versus the world, yes. Because when we look at this USA lineup, the speculations, it's like, well, who's going to be left out? That's my thing right there. That's going to be the big thing. Who's going to be left out on the U.S. side? And when they're picking these teams, is it going to be more, this is my friend I want to play with, it's going to be popularity, or are they going to be picking guys that fit well, trying to get a roster to actually win the game, to
Yeah.
really compete? Also, I look at the same way with on the world side, because when you look at the world side, like for example, the center position, Wemby, Joker, Joel, Giannis, there's a lot of big guys who are international players.
Right. That's right.
You know, when you look at the U.S. side, we're very guard heavy on the U.S. side. Very guard heavy versus on the world side, they're very center power forward heavy guys. So the team's going to be interesting. Um, I wonder how they're going to do like captains. I wonder how they're going to pick the teams. Like, I don't want the fans to pick the teams at all. I don't want that. I think I kind of don't want the players to pick the teams either.
Who you want? Who you want to pick the teams?
You know what would be interesting if the guys that sit in front of the cameras, Charles Barkley, a
I
Shaq,
knew you was going to say that.
a Kenny,
Go ahead. Hmm.
a Woj, maybe them. Maybe let's see what type of team they'll put together. Because I feel like if the players do it, it's going to be, I want to play with my friend. You know, feel like if the fans do it, it's gonna be a power. Oh, I want to see LeBron and Steph and just the regular guys. The quote unquote regular stars that we see all the time.
Mhm.
I don't know. It just I'm excited for it. This will be the first year that I'm actually excited to see the All Star game. I can say that.
Um, it's gonna be different, you
Hmm.
know. I think they kind of, jumped out the window at this idea out of an act of desperation because they were running out of ideas. They could have kept it the way it was, but I think this is the best of the ideas, and we haven't even seen the game yet. So that just speaks to where we are with it. And again, it's all set up. I mean, geez, you got for 40% of the NBA is the European, not American, so to speak.
The
So
last couple of
again,
MVPs been
yeah,
foreign
you know what I'm
players.
saying. So again, it makes perfect sense. And all
Yeah,
instead of all these, dunk contests and this
yeah.
and that. This guy's gonna play for 12 minutes. They're gonna pick this guy, and they come up to us. No, you complicating the issue, fam. Get the best against the best. Put them out there and make it and have it mean something, right? So again, we're a couple of weeks away from it, but we're excited. I know I'm
Mhm.
excited. Broski's excited for it.
I'm excited. Like I
And
can't wait to
again,
see.
just to see what the final rosters are. See, that's the thing. That's what makes this dope. Because when once the final rosters for the USA and the world are available, then that's when all the okay, look at this guy, and then this lineup, and then that guy. Oh, so and so didn't make it. Oh, so and so got jerked. That's where
That's
all the
what
conversations will come in.
that's what I can't wait for. I can't wait for the conversation to switch to who is left off the rosters on both sides. On both sides, who didn't make the cut. So I can't wait. I'm excited. This is a good thing. This is a plus for the NBA.
See, Adam Silver, we like you. When you come up with something good, we'll talk about you. You know what I mean? Because this nonsense you've been trying to push off on us for a while now has been kind of now
Trash.
cipher, man. Now cipher to the fullest, man. For real, man. And again, we're not fools. We're connoisseurs and we're consumers of your product, right? And a lot
Hmm.
of us, I say the majority of us, was playing this game, outside of watching it on television and all of this nonsense. So we know, the aesthetics that we know what we want to see, Bosky. I'll just say it like
Yeah.
that. We know
Yes.
what we want to see. You know what I mean? We know what appeals to us. So again, you want to appeal to the world, which is fine,
Hmm.
but show the world our game because the world already got their game. Because when they go
Exactly.
overseas, the lane is different, the rules are different,
Yeah.
the style is different. So
we
now,
we see
go,
it.
go
We
ahead.
see it during the Olympics all the time, and
Yeah,
it's like I
yeah,
don't want to
man.
have to wait 4 years for the Olympics or for like the World
The
Cup,
World
whatever,
Games, right?
the World
Mm-hmm.
Games to come on.
Absolutely.
This right here, it shows us. It gives us the measuring stick to show
Let's go,
us in the
Bosky.
states how much the world
Or,
has caught
or
up to the NBA.
right? And in some
Because
cases, surpass, right?
yeah, because when you think about the greatest NBA players, it's always U.S. based players. We go Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, all these guys, and just sprinkle in a little bit of foreign players in Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing, Yao Ming, a little sprinkle here, Venus Sabonis, a little sprinkle here and there. But now, when you think about I'll give it another 10 years when these guys that we are watching now, the Joel Embiid, the Giannis, the Joker, the Wembyama, the Shays,
Mm-hmm.
when these guys are now retired, that whole top 75. top 100, whatever they want to do, it's going to change. Those orders is going to change because now we have to include these guys
These
into the
guys.
conversation. And when we look at a player like Joker, it's like, oh, well, wait a minute. This guy is amazing. He falls, top 10 on some people top 10 or even some people top fives, when once he's said and done. So those hierarchies is definitely going to change, and those lists that because we all love a list, everybody loves a list, a top 25, a top 50, 75, 100. We all love a list. That list
I'm
is
interested
going
to
to
see who
change.
they take off.
Exactly. And that's when the conversation is going to shift even more because you're going to have to remove somebody to
Somebody.
insert
Yep,
these
that's
new
right.
guys.
That's right. That's
And
the
then
that part.
those conversations are going to be heated, and I'm here for it,
Mhm.
and I can't wait.
I'm here for it, son. Dope show tonight, man. We back in the building, man. It's 2026. Before we get into to get down on it, Gonzaga. Um, what are this is what I wanted to talk about because, and I don't want to put it on and get down on it because I got something I want to talk about when we get to that. See what happens when you jump out the window and you do people dirty. I think you know where I'm going with this, Bowski. The Oakland A's was perfectly perfect where they was at. Yeah, they was going through it. Nobody showed up to the games and none of that, this and that, and the third. They was in the hood, up the block from the residential area. They was loved. They had a history. They were champions once upon a time in their
Once
day,
upon a time, yes.
right? You moved them because you didn't get what you wanted from the city of Oakland. You call yourself moving to Vegas. Couldn't do that because Vegas don't have a stadium, even though they got a minor league stadium, the Aviators. Salute to them, right?
Yeah.
So you had to make a detour to Sacramento. So you went to Sacramento, gonna sit back at the cut, stadium, break ground in the stadium, and you got the drawings and this and that, and the third, what it's gonna look like. You're gonna have it off the strip, and all this is gonna be live out there in Vegas. You got a baseball team. People was talking about, oh my God, what time they're gonna start the games because it's gonna be like 150,000 degrees out there. Who's gonna play on
Absolutely.
that?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
all of a sudden, with all these grandiose plans being made, Bowski, you know you gotta get what? We're in the United States of America. So everything has to be copywritten,
Trademark.
trademarked, patented,
Hey.
all that good stuff.
Yep.
The Las Vegas, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
The
sorry.
Athletics want to get their patent for the Las Vegas A's or whatever, and the patent office said,
They said no to Las Vegas A's, Vegas A's. It's like, whoa, what they gonna be?
and
Just the A's?
guess what? The Montreal Expos still got. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
Nope.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was
Not the
that was
Montreal
that was cold.
Expos.
That like, see how you do people.
Yeah.
See how you do people.
Yeah.
Like all of this, those plans that you made and this and that and the third. Why didn't you think to patent the names first?
Exactly. You didn't. You didn't packed up. You packed up the
Yeah.
Coliseum like it was
Yes.
nothing. Packed that up. Now y'all nomads.
Now it's time when it's time to file the paperwork.
They
When it's
said.
time to file the paperwork, they
Vegas
already
said.
cut you. They cut you off at the knees already.
Vegas said.
It reminds me of a song, Basky. Hold on, wait a minute. This is gonna be our new thing. Every week is gonna remind me of a song. This reminds me of a song. It's Ghostface Killer joint. Go a little something like this. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child.
Yes.
So I mean, again, you don't bite the hand that feeds you, man. life was so lovely. You had the Oakland A's, you had the Oakland Raiders. I won't even get into that.
All you had to do was fix the stadium. Just
Right.
fix it up.
And then you had the
Fix
Golden
it up.
State Warriors right there. But never mind. But again, man, I think the moral of the story is how they always say it, Browski, was enough of these advice shows and business shows and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Handle your business.
Handle your business.
Take care of the paperwork, yo. This is so embarrassing for Major League Baseball, the athletics franchise. The city of Las Vegas is like this. They like to do it in the church.
They
They in the cut.
definitely in the cut. They ain't playing.
Yeah, they in the cut, yo. So again, man, I just wanted to bring that up, man, and again, and not to mention Browski, the A's were not a bad team.
Mm-mm.
They had got Severino. They had the kid, the rookie of the year kid, to do had to hit the 4 home runs in the game.
The top,
The kid
yeah,
Butler that was making crazy catches in center field.
yep.
Like, you know what I mean? So again, for this to happen to them, I wonder what and again, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna leave it alone. We're gonna move on. I wonder what Reggie Jackson's thinking.
Yeah,
The old guard. A
yeah.
lot of them guys are not here with us anymore. Ricky Henderson, rest in peace. You know what I mean? Vita Blue, rest in peace. You know what I mean? A lot of those guys, what are they thinking? Because the A's, once upon a time, basketball, when I was little, they ran baseball, yo. They kept winning the World Series. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But again, this is where we come to in 2026. Now you don't have a home at all.
No home. No home. Homeless.
Yeah. So again, that's messed up, Gonzaga. Um, I want I wanted to get into something that we want to talk about. We got a couple of weeks leading up to one of a fight that I'm really, 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 really interested in. I'm really, really interested in.
Somebody said they're gonna buy it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it, and I think it's like I'm 90% sure that I'm going to get this fight. Um, Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. Very interested in this fight. What's your thoughts leading up? We're like what 24 days away. You
Mm-hmm.
know, when you get big fights like this, you count them down. Yes, you do.
Yeah. Um. I mean, the excitement is brewing for this fight. Um. We talked about a little bit behind the scenes, and I'm still gonna stick with what I had said before. I need Shakur to um, start out hot. I don't want to see him slow pacing. I don't want to see him jogging around the ring. I don't want to see him to be like on like a punch count. You know, I don't
Pity
want to see
Pat.
that. Yeah, I don't want to see that. I want to see him get busy. I need him to be active early because the last couple of fights were slow starts. It's snooze fest. Sometimes I don't I don't want to see you go 12 rounds. No, especially when you should be getting them out of there in like 6 rounds, 6 7 rounds. But it seemed like it take you 6 7 rounds to figure the guy out, and then you start throwing punches in the eighth round. It's like, whoa, you remember that this is a fight, not a track meet. Um, Lopez, on the other end, I think he needs this win. When I think he really needs this win to like get some more respect back on his name. Because before, Teofimo Lopez, you said his name, you're like, oh yeah, like this guy gets busy. But we're seeing a couple fights, we have seen him get touched.
Get
We see
touched,
him
get dropped.
get dropped. We have seen that. So I feel like, to me personally, he needs this win more than Shakur. But What Shakur needs is to get busy. So let's just say he comes out hot, they're knuckling up in the middle of the run, they're going at it, boom. Even if Stevenson loses, the fact that he was putting in work, giving us a show, it says a lot.
Getting
You
his
know,
respect.
yeah, because like I said, we sat through like 2 to 3 snooze fights. Like, what is this guy doing? This is terrible. So I'm getting hyped for it. Um, I don't know if I will be buying it. I don't know. I got to see what's on the undercard, see if it's worth it. But somebody over there, right there, is going to be putting some money,
Yeah,
in their
I'm gonna check
pocket.
it out. Mhm.
But what do you think about this fight? How you feel? How you feel about this, man?
I'm again, like I said, Browski. I the tanks and the Terrences and the this one and the that one and the this. This is gonna be my first time, kind of sitting down in the pocket and checking out Shakur Stevenson out. You know what I mean? I've heard a lot about him. You know what I mean? I've seen highlights of his fights and stuff like that, and I'm impressed. Tiafimo, I've seen him fight. Again, he's a guy that, when he's good, he's great. When he's not good, he gets caught, and then that changes the whole dynamic and perspective. And let me
Yes.
say this: Tiafimo Lopez is fighting, not Tiafimo Lopez father, right? You take away all the outside noise and the stuff that Tiafimo dealing with. He's a very skilled fighter, very
Mhm.
skilled. You know what I mean? Um, is he a better sugar honey iced tea talker than Berlanga? I don't think so. But I think that Teofimo Lopez is going to bring the fight to Shakur Stevenson, and I think that's where Teofimo is going to learn that he's in there with a boxing savant, the
Mhm.
youngest Shakur Stevenson, and he's a savant. So we talk behind the scenes about the footwork is going to be key in this fight.
Yeah.
I think that we both noticed that some flaws in Tiafimo's game when he gets ready to throw a punch and things of that nature that Shakur could exploit. I think
Mhm.
that once Shakur establishes that he's found something, that it's going to be a terrible night for Tiafimo Lopez. I think
Yeah.
if Tiafimo Lopez gets Shakur on the ropes,
Oh yeah.
that's where he's going to have to, build up his points, establish his dominance. But if the fight, like you said, Kimmy, if the fight's in the middle of the ring, Stevenson's going to put work in, right?
Mhm.
And again, it goes back to the footwork. Watch the footwork. I think that Stevenson is gonna, like you said, the third, fourth round, it's gonna have to be. It can't be 2-2 at the end of 4 rounds,
No.
right? If it's 2-2 at the end of 4 rounds, that doesn't bode well for Shakur because that means that Tiafimo is touching him just like they're touching each other at the same rate. Um,
Correct.
Again, once we get to the sixth and seventh round, we'll see where this fight is really going. If the fight gets towards the middle of the ring where Shakur wants it, cool. If it gets on the ropes where Tiafimo wants it, then we'll see where Shakur is and how skilled he is, and if he can get into a firefight. We've never seen these guys in a firefight. Tiafimo
Mhm.
in situations, but this is going to be a firefight, and that's why I'm interested in the undercard. I'm not. I don't know about the undercard. I'm gonna check that out later on, but
Yeah.
I think that again, I'm interested in seeing this, and I think that again, whoever wins this fight is going to be able to, kind of like puff their chest out and say they're the man who beat the man who said he was the man. So that's where I'm at. The loser of the fight can still make some noise because these light divisions, these lighter weight divisions, are loaded. So
Yeah.
just because you lose, pardon self, just because you lose a fight, if you lose a close decision, that just lines you up for the next fight down the line now somebody might call you out now. You know what I mean? Let's cross some paths. Let's get some, Sabril Matthias. Let's get some of these
Yep.
guys. Let's get the Keyshawn Davises out in the world. Let's get some of these other guys that's talking a lot of junk out there. The Pit Bulls. All these guys. Let's get these guys back in the mix. So again, that's what makes it interesting. The Raleigh Romero's. Let's you know what I mean? I see Ryan Garcia talking. He's starting to open up and talk now. So
He
again,
always talking.
2026. A lot can leapfrog off of this particular fight. There's no rematch clause,
Yeah.
so they're going for the gusto from the door. Again, I think I'm looking forward to seeing the fight. I think Shakur is going to get some experience. I think Teofimo's going to get some experience, but I think the longer the fight goes, the better it's going to be for Shakur Stevenson.
Mhm.
Um, Gonzaga. Um, Baseball news. Just want to throw something in there. My Yankees once again. We are stagnating and watching the world go by. Edward Cabrera went from the Miami Marlins to the Chicago Cubs.
Better situation for him.
Everybody's getting better. Even the Japanese imports are steering clear from the Yankees. The my guy signed with Houston. The White Sox signed a third baseman. The Blue Jays signed a third baseman.
It's
So
crazy.
it's crazy. So um, still waiting on you, Brian Cashman, because March 27th will be here before you know it. So that's what I'm say to that baseball front. Right now, for the first one for the 2026 season, we're gonna do our get down on it. I want you to take a deep breath, take your time. Browski's gonna go first. My get down on it is gonna be about the NFL coaching carousel. Go ahead, Browski.
It's the same. We gotta
We,
talk
we,
about
we,
it.
we don't we don't rehearse this. We didn't talk about this behind the scenes.
No, we gotta talk about it because
Let's
what
go,
is
Browski.
happening? I mean, the biggest name, we just, John. Um, we have touched on it a little bit during the season that things was looking a little shaky in Jacksonville. I heard a little twerping here and there, stating that there was some disgruntled people in the locker room. You can kind of tell by how the play was. Lamar getting hurt early. Um, Derrick Henry getting hurt. I mean, guy been in Baltimore 18 seasons, one Super Bowl championship, what four AFC with the four AFC championship games, won the division a couple of times. He had a good run. Sometimes it's time to move on. Um, I think it was time for him to exit. Um, One that hurt me um, a little bit. Raheem Morris, they got him in the GM out super fast. What 2 years? Um, they didn't really help him much. Fired the GM, yes, because the biggest bonehead decision of signing Kirk Cousins to a $100 million contract only to draft Michael Penix the same year with the eighth round with the number eighth pick of the first round of the draft. A bonehead move. Why would you draft a quarterback after you just signed a quarterback for $100 million to be
Right.
your starting
Right.
quarterback?
That's right.
Instead of drafting someone, I don't know, to help your $100 million man on the offensive side. I don't know. Maybe get an offensive lineman to help block
Vector, right.
for your star running back and to keep your man upright. I don't know. How about make a move because Kyle Pitts has turned into a bust for the past 3 years that he was with them, and it's like, oh, let's move on from him. Have the balls to move on from him and to draft another tight end. Oh, I don't know, maybe draft another receiver to go beside Drake London, something, you know. But no, you take the easy way out and you fire the coach and you fire the GM, which should have been fired. Raheem, they should have gave Raheem at least 3 years. Give him a little, like 2 years turnaround. Come on now, let's be realistic. The other guy that I knew was coming, that the writing was on the wall, was Kevin Stefanski. That was, I mean, a blind man could have seen that happen. Um, it's been a disaster. Again, these teams that are firing these coaches prematurely are terrible organizations. Cleveland has been a dumpster fire for many of years, and some people are like, oh well, Kevin Stefanski, two-time, coach of the year. Okay.
What was this?
Okay. I said okay.
Like, what was this?
I said okay. I said, and um what have he done for the team lately?
Right.
Because for the past 3 seasons they've been trash. They've been hard. They didn't gave this guy another terrible contract to a quarterback. 200 and what, $30 million
Deshaun Watson. Right.
guaranteed to Deshaun. When he did play, it wasn't at his best. It wasn't like you
Damn
guys
sure
was,
wasn't.
oh, threatened to win the AFC North at any point. No. So yes, Kevin Stefanski needed to go. The next guy, Brian Dable. Yes. It was time for Brian Dable to go. Losing record in New York. No playoffs. It's time to go. Pete Carroll. Absolutely. Pete Carroll signed his fate. He said his fate when he brought Geno Smith there. He thought he can bring up the magic that they had in Seattle. No, Geno turned back into a pumpkin. And then for you guys to not make the correct move in the draft, you draft a running back, not even from a Power 5 team, in the first round. What are we doing? When have we start drafting running backs from Boise State in the first round? That was a terrible draft pick. When you have so many holes, that wasn't going to do anything. The next, Jonathan Gannon.
That's crazy.
Jonathan Gannon, horrible defense. You're a defense coordinator, becoming a head coach, and the defense got worse.
Hmm. Todd Bowles.
Defense got worse up in Arizona. You didn't plan for the future. Kyler Murray wasn't it when you got there. He wasn't it the second year you was there.
Ain't it
And
now?
damn sure it ain't it now. Okay?
Right.
Never planned for the future. Never drafted another quarterback. It's like, what are we doing? And people are surprised that this happened. Brian Callahan in Tennessee. Come on. What are we doing? Again, you draft Cam Ward. We know it's going to be a project. You don't bring in a bridge quarterback. He shouldn't have been starting. You know, offensive line is bad. Don't have a real receiver, a number one receiver. The defense is bad. It was like, what are we doing? People feel like, oh, we're gonna draft this quarterback and our whole franchise is gonna turn around. magically. It's without the foundation. So each of these guys that has been fired, to me, it was about time. I'm looking at John like take a year off maybe. What I don't want John to do is to come to the NFC. Okay? I don't want to see him in New York. God forbid. God forbid if this man goes to the Giants. That's a nightmare for me because I know what
Mm-hmm.
he can do. You go play in the AFC. Go to Vegas. Okay? Hey,
Basket stupid. He
listen.
said, go to bed,
Give
go
the
to
Baltimore
Cleveland.
Ravens the
He
biggest
said, I
middle
don't care if you go to
finger.
Cleveland.
Go to Cleveland. That's what I say. Give the Baltimore Ravens the biggest middle finger ever. Go to Cleveland and make them into something.
You go see them and see them twice a year, right?
And see them twice a year. Yeah, go do something there. But God, Jesus, Jehovah, whoever you guys pray to, Allah, do not let this guy go to the Giants. I personally, I can see Stefanski, getting a job like this, him going to the Giants may be a little interesting. Um, to me, I think the most interesting place to go to would be the Raiders because they have a lot of draft picks.
That's what
And
me and you. That's what me and you.
I think that's
The most
because
interesting place
because
is Atlanta. But go ahead.
well, yeah, because they have the pieces there
Right, right now, right, right.
right
Go ahead.
now. Like you, God, if John goes to Atlanta, if Kevin Stefanski goes to Atlanta, if Cliff Kingsbury, because here we go, Cliff Kingsbury left
I heard him. Go
the
ahead. Go ahead. We got
Commanders.
we got like 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go. Go ahead.
Um, Listen, whatever Brosky says, I stand on it. Um, I think I'm just gonna say this: the move that would be the most that would shake the league up right now. Brosky just said it. Hardball to the Giants. The Giants would be instant contenders.
Oh God.
And the whole thing would shake. I'm seeing a Stefanski go to like Tennessee might jump out the window and take him. Um,
Mm,
the Atlanta job, I mean, they've got to make a power move because I'm hoping that one of these teams will get tired of hiring and recycling coaches every 2 or 3 years because it's always the same teams in the mix every 2 or 3 years. Atlanta, Arizona, the
Cleveland.
Raiders, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cleveland, you know what I'm saying? So again, I think that out of these guys that you mentioned, a couple of them are going to find jobs. A couple of them probably go
Hmm.
to the college ranks. A couple might take a couple years off or whatever the case may be. But the job, if John Harbaugh goes to the Giants, I mean, if John Harbaugh goes to Atlanta, whatever. But if John Harbaugh goes to the Giants, the New York Football Giants, Bowski,
I don't want to see it. I don't even want to think about that. Jeez.
think about this: John Gruden coming back to the Buccaneers. That's something that's gaining a little bit of traction.
Mm.
I would not be mad at it. We need some kind of spark. We don't have a spark with
Hmm.
Todd Bowles. I was getting ready to call him Todd Bowles.
I mean, you get
I'm sorry.
my
I was getting ready
bowels.
to call him Todd Bowles. I'm sorry, but I just feel like um, it really wasn't really Todd Bowles' fault. You know what I mean? He wasn't going out there and making we got the offense and busting the defense up. And the Todd Bowles stays for another year. So what? We just have to improve the team. Got it in sports. We'll be back at you Tuesday night. I know today's Wednesday, but it's all good. We still in the building. Happy New Year. Any words before we get out of here, Baskin? We got like 40 seconds.
Yeah, happy New Year's, everybody. Enjoy the NFL playoffs, man. Players should be popping. Enjoy basketball. Season's starting to get a little hot, and we see you on Tuesday.
Yeah, and Bowski, the champion of the NFL picks for 2025 is in the building. Don't spend all of that in one place. You know what I mean? And we'll talk to y'all on Tuesday night down in the sports. We out. Don't go nowhere, Bowski. We out.
Peace. Happy New Year.